Okay, so get this resilience.
Uh-huh.
We hear about it all the time, right? Like bouncing back from tough times.
Yeah,
But did you know it's actually connected to like how our brains work?
it is.
Yeah. So we're going to dive deep today into what makes some people seem to just like snap back from anything.
Right.
We've got research, personal stories, the whole shebang. And spoiler alert, resilience is something you can build.
It is.
That's exciting.
It is. It's not just some vague idea.
Right.
It's about concrete changes in the brain.
Oh, wow.
We've all heard of fight or flight, right?
Of course.
Well, resilient people have a faster track to that thinking part of their brain
Oh, interesting.
when things go haywire.
So it's not about not freaking out.
Right.
It's about how quickly you can hit the brakes on the freak out
Exactly.
and like find your logic again.
Exactly. We're talking neural pathways.
Wow.
The actual wiring getting more efficient.
Really?
Think about it like a muscle you can train.
Okay.
It's not about becoming emotionless, but becoming more skilled at handling those emotions.
Okay, so less robotic, more awesome at life. Got it.
Yes.
But we're not all born with this like super brain, right?
Yeah.
How do we actually train for resilience?
Well, it's multifaceted.
Okay.
But one fascinating area is how we perceive challenges.
Okay.
There's this incredible story about Ernest Shackleton, the explorer.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
His ship got crushed by Antarctic ice, stranding his crew for months.
Oh my gosh.
You'd expect despair, right?
Yeah, I'd be writing my last will and testament on a penguin feather.
But Shackleton's diaries, they're full of problem solving,
wow.
almost upbeat.
Really?
He reframed the situation,
Okay.
focusing on what they could control.
Hmm.
That mindset shift was key to their survival.
So it's not just positive thinking, it's more like strategic optimism.
Yeah.
Choosing where to focus your energy.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be a huge advantage when things are falling apart.
And that ties into another crucial aspect, your support system. Resilient people aren't lone wolves.
Right.
Shackleton's crew relied on each other.
Makes sense.
Their shared purpose kept them going.
Mm.
Humans are social creatures.
Yeah.
We're wired for connection.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful tool for resilience.
Like having people to vent to when you're stressed,
Yes.
but also people to celebrate the wins with.
Exactly.
It makes the whole journey less bumpy.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about quantity.
Right.
It's about quality.
Okay.
Cultivating relationships that are genuinely supportive,
Right.
where you feel seen and understood, that's where the magic happens.
Okay. So I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
Reframing how you think.
Uh-huh.
Surrounding yourself with the right people.
Mhm.
It's like building a resilience fortress from the inside out.
I like that.
But what about the self-talk, that inner critic we all have?
Ah, self-compassion.
Right.
Often overlooked key.
Yeah.
It's not about letting yourself off the hook for mistakes.
Yeah.
It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend.
Because berating yourself after a setback doesn't exactly inspire you to try again.
Exactly.
Makes
It
sense.
actually hinders your ability to learn and grow.
Oh, wow.
Resilient people acknowledge their flaws,
Okay.
but they don't dwell on them.
Right.
They focus on what they can do to improve,
Mm-hmm.
which brings us to another crucial concept, the growth mindset.
Right. That idea that your abilities aren't fixed. You can always develop and improve.
Yes. Carol Dweck's research shows that believing in your capacity to grow makes you far more resilient.
Okay.
Challenges become opportunities to learn rather than threats to your identity.
So instead of I'm bad at this, it's I'm getting better at this.
Yes.
Subtle shift, but big impact, right?
Huge impact.
Okay. And does this tie into taking action even when it's scary?
Absolutely. Resilience isn't about not feeling fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's about acting despite it.
Okay.
Think of Malala Yousafzai, advocating for girls' education, even after being targeted for her beliefs. Her actions embodied resilience.
Okay. Malala's a bit of a superhero.
She is.
But I get what you're saying. It's those small steps forward, even when you're unsure,
Uh-huh.
that build momentum, right?
Exactly.
So you start to feel more resilient
Yes.
because you're acting more resilient.
Exactly. It's a feedback loop.
I like that.
And those small steps don't have to be grand gestures.
Oh.
It could be as simple as asking for help when you're struggling,
Right.
or breaking a big goal into smaller, manageable chunks.
So we've got reframing thoughts,
Yes.
strong connections, self-compassion, a growth mindset, and a healthy dose of courage to actually take action.
Right.
That's a lot to unpack, but it's starting to paint a clearer picture of what this resilience thing really is.
Absolutely. And it's all interconnected.
Right.
Each element strengthens the others,
Yeah.
creating a powerful force within you.
Hmm.
You're not just surviving, you're actively shaping your ability to thrive.
That's amazing. And it's not about being unbreakable, but about having the tools to rebuild yourself stronger each time you face a challenge.
That's it.
And you know what, listener? That's pretty darn inspiring.
It is.
All right, you back for more resilience-boosting intel.
I am.
We've got the foundation laid.
Right.
Now let's get practical.
Okay.
Work, stress, relationships, even those big life curveballs.
Yes.
How do we apply all this resilience stuff to the real world?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's start with the daily grind.
Okay.
We can't always control what happens at work, but we can control how we react.
Right.
Think about a time you felt overwhelmed at work. What was going through your mind?
Ooh, easy deadlines piling up that feeling like you're drowning in emails.
Yeah.
Honestly, my brain goes into like frantic hamster mode,
Oh, yeah.
running in circles but getting nowhere fast.
I know that feeling. That's a common reaction.
Yeah.
The stress response kicks in,
Right.
and suddenly it's all about survival, not clear thinking.
Right.
But imagine if you could hit pause, even for a few minutes, to regain your composure.
Mm-hmm.
That's where mindfulness comes in.
Okay, mindfulness, everyone talks about it, but does it really work in the middle of like a work crisis?
It can think of it as a mini reset for your nervous system.
Okay.
Just a few deep breaths.
Right.
Focusing on the physical sensations can shift you out of that panic mode and back to problem solving.
So less, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
More, okay, what's the next step? I can see how that would be helpful, especially when things feel chaotic.
Exactly.
What about when it's not just the workload, but the people?
Oh.
Difficult coworkers, or even a boss who seems to thrive on stress.
The human element. That's where clear boundaries becomes crucial.
Boundaries.
It's not about being rude.
Right.
It's about protecting your energy and time.
But saying no could be tough,
It can be.
especially if you're worried about seeming uncooperative or, getting fired.
Yeah, true. It
Sure.
takes practice. Start small.
Okay.
Maybe it's declining a meeting that's not essential.
Right.
Or suggesting an alternative time when you're less overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Each know you voice strengthens that boundary muscle.
Okay, so it's not just about pushing back on extra work. It's about asserting your own needs in a respectful way.
Exactly.
And what about when conflict does arise,
Right.
like a disagreement with a coworker or a miscommunication with your boss?
It's where active listening becomes key.
Active listening.
Not just waiting for your turn to speak,
Right.
but truly trying to understand their perspective,
Well-
even if you disagree.
So putting yourself in their shoes, even when it's tough.
It is.
I'll admit, sometimes I'm so focused on like my own side of the argument
Yeah.
that I miss what the other person is trying to say.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But that shift from being right to
Yeah.
understanding
Oh.
can de-escalate a situation and lead to a more productive solution.
It's like choosing collaboration over combat.
Yeah,
I like that.
much better.
So we've got mindfulness for calming the storm boundaries to protect your space,
Yeah.
and active listening to navigate tricky interactions. What about resilience in our personal lives? Relationships can be amazing,
Yes, they can.
but they also bring their own set of challenges.
They do, absolutely. And the same principles apply, but with an extra layer of emotional intensity.
Right, because it's more personal.
It is... Think about a recent disagreement you had with a loved one.
Okay.
What was the biggest hurdle?
Honestly, sometimes it's just feeling heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if we don't agree on the issue, I want to know that my feelings are valid,
Absolutely. That's a fundamental human need to feel seen and understood.
Yeah.
And in those heated moments, it's easy to get defensive,
Oh, yeah.
to focus on proving your point,
Right.
but resilient relationships prioritize empathy over ego.
So less winning the argument,
Right.
more understanding each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but easier said than done right.
It definitely takes practice. One helpful tip, use statements instead of you accusations.
Oh, okay.
I feel hurt, when it's much less likely to trigger defensiveness than you always get.
Ooh, good point. It's
Yeah.
about owning your own experience rather than blaming the other person. That's a subtle shift in language.
It is.
But I can see how it would make a big difference in how the conversation unfolds.
It's huge.
What about when it's not just a disagreement, but a major life change or even a loss?
Mm-hmm.
Those can really shake your foundation.
Those are the times when self-compassion becomes absolutely essential.
Right.
It's okay to grieve, to feel the pain, to not be okay for a while.
So not trying to force yourself to be strong
No.
or get over it quickly.
No, Exactly. Resilience isn't about suppressing emotions.
Right.
It's about allowing yourself to feel them fully,
Okay.
but not getting stuck in them.
Like riding the wave rather than getting pulled under. I like that analogy.
Like a good
But sometimes those waves feel overwhelming.
to do.
What if you need more than just self-care to navigate those rough waters?
Don't hesitate to seek professional support. A therapist can provide guidance and tools to process those difficult emotions in a healthy way.
It's like having a skilled navigator to help you chart a course through the storm. And sometimes just having someone to listen without judgment can be a lifeline.
It can.
It's a reminder that you're not alone in this.
Absolutely. That's so important. And remember, healing takes time.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself and focus on small steps forward.
One step at a time, and maybe even celebrating those small victories along the way.
Yes.
Like, even just getting out of bed and taking a shower can feel like a major accomplishment when you're going through a tough time.
It can absolutely, every act of self-care, every moment of connection, every step towards healing is a testament to your resilience.
Wow.
You're choosing to keep moving forward even when it's hard.
And that's a powerful message for anyone facing those big life challenges. You have the strength within you to navigate those difficult times. We'll be right back to explore the crucial role of self-care in building lasting resilience. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we back for the final stretch of our resilience deep dive.
Yeah.
We've tackled brain science, real-world strategies, the power of mindset.
Yes.
But there's one piece left, and it's a big one: self-care.
It is. It's not just about like pampering yourself, though.
Right.
That has its place.
Of course.
Think of it as proactive resilience maintenance.
Okay.
You can't run on empty and expect to handle whatever life throws at you.
So it's not selfish, it's strategic, like filling up your tank so you can keep going.
Exactly.
Or what?
We're talking sleep, healthy food movement.
Yeah, the basics.
The basics are essential for a reason.
Mm.
They impact everything from your mood to your ability to think clearly under pressure.
It's easy to skip those when you're stressed, though, right?
So easy.
I mean, who hasn't reached for the comfort food or stayed up late worrying instead of getting a good night's sleep?
I know. I've done it. We've all been there.
Hmm.
But even small changes make a difference.
Okay.
Adding an extra veggie to your meal,
Right.
taking a walk during lunch, setting a consistent bedtime. It's about building those habits into your life.
So it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress, right?
Progress, not perfection.
Okay, so we've got the physical basics down. What about the mental and emotional side of self-care?
Right.
What fills those tanks?
Well, we've touched on mindfulness,
Yeah.
but it's worth emphasizing again. Those few minutes of quiet, focusing on your breath, it's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
It's funny because it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest to stick with.
I agree.
Like, I know I should meditate more often,
Yeah.
but I always find excuses.
Yeah.
Any tips for making it a more regular part of my routine?
We'll start small.
Okay.
Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference.
Really?
Find a time that works for you,
Right.
maybe first thing in the morning or right before bed. There are tons of great apps and guided meditations available too,
Oh, yeah.
if that's helpful.
Those guided ones can be really helpful, especially when your mind is racing and you need a little extra help focusing.
I know what you mean.
What about journaling?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that can be a good outlet for stress and emotions.
Journaling can be incredibly powerful.
Okay.
It helps you process your thoughts and feelings, gain clarity, and track your progress over time.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be a novel.
Right.
Just a few sentences about your day, your worries, your wins.
So it's like talking to yourself on paper
Yes.
without judgment.
Without judgment.
And sometimes just getting it all out of your head and onto the page can make a huge difference.
It really can.
What about those times when you need a break from your own thoughts, though?
Yeah.
Like when you just need to escape and recharge.
Yeah.
What are your go-to activities for that?
For me, it's nature. It's
Nature.
a walk in the park, a hike in the woods, even just sitting outside and listening to the birds sing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how restorative it can be.
Oh, I totally get that. There's something about being in nature that just calms the mind and soothes the soul.
I agree.
And what about connecting with others? Is that a part of self-care too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're social beings. We need connection to thrive. Spending time with loved ones, having meaningful conversations, even just laughing with friends. Those are all acts of self-care.
So it's not just about solo activities. It's about
Yeah.
nurturing those relationships that bring us joy and support.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But what about those relationships that don't feel so good?
Oh, yeah.
The ones that drain our energy or bring negativity into our lives?
Right. Sometimes self-care means setting boundaries with those people, even if it's difficult.
Okay.
It's about protecting your own well-being,
Right.
recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not drag you down.
That's a good reminder. It's okay to say no to things that don't serve us, even if it means disappointing others.
Is
Our own well-being has to come first.
Exactly. And remember, self-care isn't selfish.
Right.
It's about taking care of yourself so you can show up as your best self for others and for the world.
That's a powerful reframing. Self-care is an act of service. I love that.
Me too.
The more you prioritize your well-being, the more resilient you become. You have more energy, patience, compassion, and strength to face whatever comes your way.
You do.
It's like building a strong foundation for life, one that can withstand the storms. We've covered a lot of ground today. From the science of how our brains build resilience to practical strategies for different areas of life, to the importance of mindset and self-care. What's the one key takeaway you hope our listener walks away with?
Well, I hope they remember that resilience is a skill, not a trait.
Okay.
It's something you can cultivate and strengthen with effort and practice.
Right.
And the beautiful thing is, it's a journey, not a destination.
I love that.
There's always more to learn more, to grow more, to discover by yourself and your own inner strength.
You, listener, have the power within you to bounce back from anything life throws your way. Embrace the journey, be kind to yourself, and never underestimate your ability to rise above challenges. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into resilience.